I thought I would do a kind of like my palette collection, but kind of like my favourite out of my whole entire collection, because palettes is like one of the things that I have the most of within my collection, because I just find having palettes of eyeshadows is a lot more easier to kind of control and handle than having like every single eyeshadow in like a single form. So in today's video I'm going to show you pretty much the majority of my favourite eyeshadow palettes, the ones that I reach for mostly all the time, the ones that I use all the time on clients, the ones that I use all the time on my videos, on myself, etc, etc. So in this video there actually is going to be a mix between some drugstore palettes and some more higher end palettes, just because I do actually use a variety of drugstore and high-end palettes, and a few of the drugstore ones are actually my favourites as well. So the first couple of eyeshadow palettes are these ones here from Too Faced, and Too Faced is a brand that I thoroughly love. I find their eyeshadow palettes are in the most cutest packaging. They have the most, well, not the best quality eyeshadows, but they have really good quality eyeshadows that I reach for all the time. And these first two palettes I'm sure you guys have heard of. It's the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette, which just came out after this one. This was the original one, which is just the chocolate bar palette. And personally, out of the two, I do like the Semi-Sweet better, just because I always find myself using this shade here called Peanut Butter, just because it's a really nice kind of warm tone brown. And then I also really love these colours here, and then I also love this one in Butter Pecan. It's like so gorgeous. So here's just a close-up of what the Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette looks like. As you can see, it comes with a range of matte colours, shimmers, kind of satin shades. However, this colour here is like literally pointless. It is the most weirdest colour and the weirdest kind of feeling on your fingers, and it does nothing. But other than that, the other colours in this palette are to die for. They're really pretty. And then these are the colours in the original chocolate bar palette. As you can tell, I have used these ones quite a lot as well. And then these other two palettes are the Too Faced Sugar Pop palette, and it just says the Sugary Sweet Eyeshadow Collection. And this palette comes with like really nice kind of bright colours, but also kind of more muted bright colours as well, that you can easily get away with on a day-to-day basis. And then there's also this one here called the Boudoir Eyes palette, which I did a tutorial with this ages ago, and I'll try and find it and link it down below. But this colour here, especially in this shade Satin Sheet, is like the most gorgeous colour. It's like a peachy colour, but it has really nice golden peach undertones through it. It's so nice. And then of course all these neutral colours here are just again perfect. That's basically all my Too Faced palettes, and I think they're the most gorgeously packaged products ever. They're all in like kind of like tin, and they're just so cute, especially for Christmas if you want to give someone like a Christmas present or something. But I just think they're so gorgeous and really worth the money. So a few other palettes that I have here are from Makeup Revolution. Makeup Revolution is a brand that I recently discovered around 2 years ago, and they produce really high quality products at really cheap prices and really inexpensive prices, and their eyeshadows especially are really good for the price. I would say these eyeshadows are the best if you're on a budget and you want to start freelancing, because you're able to buy a palette which have a range of different colours, and most of the palettes that they actually do are like dupes for higher end products, so you're able to get like a palette which is like less than half the price for, but still get like good quality eyeshadows, if you know what I mean. So this is one of the first ones that I ever got, and this is the Ultra Professional Eyeshadow Flawless Matte Palette, and they have a bunch of these eyeshadow palettes in like different forms. Like they have a shimmery version, and then I think just like a couple of matte ones. But here's the colours here. As you can see, they're all matte and they're all really nice. However, with this palette there's no really dark intense shades, so these kind of shades are more of like transitional colours, outer corner colours, but there's no really kind of colour that you could use to really intensify your eye look apart from this like one right here. But other than that, they're really buttery and really creamy. I think this palette only cost me around $5, which I think is amazing for the quality. And then I also have these other two palettes again from Makeup Revolution. There's this one here, and this is the Iconic Pro palette, which is actually a dupe for the Lorac Pro palette. And I actually have the Lorac Pro palette, and I find myself using this one a lot more, just because I find the Lorac Pro palette is really, the eyeshadows are really chalky and you get a lot of fallout. Whereas with this one, they're really just normal, and you're able to get still quite a lot of pigmentation. As you can see, there's one. There's this one here, which is like so pigmented. You're able to get quite a lot of pigmentation, but without the fallout. So I found myself actually using this one over that one, and that one's like, I think like $50 or something. This is like £3 or something like that. And of course, I couldn't do a palette video without mentioning the Urban Decay Naked palettes. These palettes were like my thing whenever they come out. I just adored these palettes, just because I find that like everyone was talking about them on YouTube, and they were like the craze whenever they come out, and whenever they kept on bringing out new ones, everyone was like, ah! And because they're kind of like a collection, I thought that it would be really nice to have just like all of them. And Ever since the first one, whenever I got the first one, I used this one till the death. This is the Naked original palette, like the velvety feeling one, and this was the one that I find is like the best out of all 4 of them. Just because all the colours in this are really kind of warm and really shimmery and gorgeous. Like look at this one here, Half Baked. This was like my favourite eyeshadow ever, and as you can see I've just used this palette to the death, and even on the front of it you can't even see the Naked writing anymore. And then you have the Naked 2 palette, which again has kind of more cool tone colours. I did use this quite a lot whenever it came out, but now I would not really reach for it. However, I would use it if someone kind of wants more of like a cool tone eye look. But I just find like all these palettes are really good in themselves. All the quality is amazing, and as personally I don't really like cool tone eyeshadows, I find that the quality of these eyeshadows are really good and I would recommend them. This here one is the Naked 3, and out of these ones I find the colours in these ones are really pretty as well. However, with this one I don't find they are as pigmented as the Naked 1. I find the Naked 1 palette, the colours were just so buttery and amazing feeling, whereas these ones I thought they weren't as pigmented. They were kind of more like kind of chunky glittery eyeshadows, but I still really like the colours in this one, and I would definitely like obviously continue to use it. I think it's really beautiful and it's all really nice kind of mauvey pinky colours. And then this one here is the Naked Smoky palette. Honestly, with this one I love these first 3 colours, and then I like this matte shade here, and then the last 3. These kind of ones in the middle I wouldn't really reach for, but other than that these 3 and the last 3 are really gorgeous. And again, even though I don't really use it before the colours, I really love the high quality and the pigmentation is absolutely great. So other 2 palettes that I really love are these ones from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I love their eyeshadows. I do prefer Makeup Geek over these eyeshadows just because I have a lot more of the Makeup Geek eyeshadows than these ones, and I just find myself reaching for the Makeup Geek ones. Again, with these, they're just really good for travelling. You've got every colour you need. They're not too expensive, but they're not really inexpensive either. They're kind of just like in the middle. But again, the quality of these eyeshadows are really good. This one here is the Artist palette, and as you can see it comes with kind of more brighter colours, but again it has some like wearable tones like along the sides. And then there's this one here which is the Amrezy palette, which was in collaboration with Amrezy from Instagram, and I think she does YouTube videos, I'm not too sure. Whenever I got this I absolutely adored it. They're kind of like shimmery shades, are so pigmented. Like as you can see, this one here in Glisten is just so gorgeous. They're so pretty, and then all these ones along the bottom are amazing, and the green, like they're just amazing. They're really good quality, and again they're perfect for like travelling and just taking away on holiday with you, and I think they're really good. BH Cosmetics is another brand that provides really good eyeshadows for really inexpensive prices, and again if you want to kind of start like your makeup collection and want to have a range of different colours, I would recommend this brand for like kind of getting palettes with like a variety of different colours. This one here is the Special Occasion palette, and as you can see this one comes with 9 blushes as well, so you're getting 9 blushes and all of these different eyeshadows. Even though they are quite small, but because there is so much, it's not like you would always be focusing on the one eyeshadow. You kind of be using like all of them. My blushes are really good. Like this one here is really similar to the NARS Orgasm. You've got kind of like a bronzy colour, a more highlight colour, like really nice fuchsia pinky shade, and again with the eyeshadows you have a mix of mattes, shimmers, kind of cool tone, warm tones, and I just think they're really good for the price. I have this one, and then I also have the BH Day and Night palette, which when I first got this I was obsessed with it. As you can see, one side comes with more softer colours and one side comes with more shimmery kind of glamour shades. This one has more lighter kind of pinky, but even still they're still like, you still have quite a lot of like a range of colours. You have like your fuchsia pinks, some greens, some blues, like you've pretty much every colour in here, and you've more softer and more intense version of it as well. And I just think these palettes are great, especially for the price of them. They're so good, and BH Cosmetics brushes are also really great, so definitely go check them out as well. Another palette that I always see myself using whenever I'm in a rush and just want to kind of throw on like a really nice just eye look is this one from Essence, and this is the All About Sunrise eyeshadow palette. So here's a close-up of the shades within the palette, and as you can see they're really pretty, and these are literally, you get so much product. I don't know if you can see from like the side of the palette, but the eyeshadow goes down quite far, and they're all really pigmented. Like as you can see, I'll just do a swatch of these two. You can see they're so pigmented, and I think this was literally only around like €4 or €3 maybe, because I did get this in Spain in one of the pharmacies over there. But I just think these colours are so nice, and you could create such a pretty like sunset kind of ombre eye look with this, and I think it's so pretty. Another affordable brand that does amazing palettes is Sleek, and I've heard people talking about Sleek and saying that they're like their favourite eyeshadows even out of all of the high-end ones that they own, and I would totally agree. Like the pigmentation and quality of these eyeshadows are so good. I have like quite a lot of their Sleek eyeshadows, but this is the palette that I find myself using the most, and this is the Storm 578 eyeshadow palette, and again this one just comes with a range of shimmer and matte eyeshadows, and they're all so pretty. And Sleek also do blush palettes, which are also really good. I have this one here which is just an example, which is the intensely pigmented cream blushes in the shade California, and these are all cream blushes, and then they also have a range of palettes with some cream blushes as well. So another palette that I absolutely love is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. I actually used this palette today to create this eye look that I'm wearing, and these colours are just amazing. If you're kind of into your matte colours and just want a range of different matte tones, I would totally recommend this palette. As you can see, you're kind of more darker, lighter shades, you have a white, you have a jet black, which is so pigmented, kind of like your mid-tone browns, your more warmer, intense browns, and then all these matte shades here. And this palette is definitely one of the best palettes that I've had, just because I always love matte shades. Like, you can never go wrong with a matte eyeshadow, and they're also really good for making your eyeshadow look really kind of smoky and blown out and professional looking. So I would totally recommend this palette as well. The ZOEVA palettes are also really good. I have a bunch of these, only these are the 3 that I brought down with me. They have like loads of these, which I find is really good because you're obviously able to pick which one you like the best. So I have this one, which is the Rose Golden palette, and this just comes with really, just all the shades are kind of more equal. They're kind of along the same lines. They're kind of not too dramatic, not too pale, but they're also, all these colours have like a really golden undertone in it, hence the packaging, the Rose Golden palette. As you can see, they're just kind of on the gold side. All the colours kind of are their own colour, but then have a golden undertone through them. And then there's also the Rodeo Belle palette, which just has more colourful colours. And then the Love Is a Story palette, which again has more colourful colours, but also kind of some more matte wearable colours over here. So a palette that I recently got, which I absolutely fell in love with the formulation. I've never experienced an eyeshadow with the same kind of texture and filling as these. And this is the Makeup Forever Professional Paris eyeshadows. And I actually do have a few Makeup Forever single eyeshadows, which again I love. They're so good. With this palette here, the pigmentation and filling of these eyeshadows, like I'll do a swatch of one of these. They're like powder eyeshadows, but they have like a really creamy kind of waxy base to them, so they're really pigmented, and like when you swatch them they actually feel like cream eyeshadows, but they have like a different texture to the ColourPop eyeshadows, which I find them ones are really creamy, whereas these ones still feel like a powder but are just so intensely pigmented. And like their white eyeshadow, look how pigmented that is, and I barely even touched it. It's literally amazing, and I'm so excited to use this like purple colour here, and then the blue colours, and these colours especially in this area and this area are the ones that I would use the most, and they're so good. I also want to quickly mention these 2 palettes that I have. I have a lot. I think I have pretty much all of the Makeup Geek eyeshadows, including their monochrome eyeshadows or their duochrome eyeshadows, their foil finishes, and like all of their other ones. But these are the 2 palettes that I reach for the most regarding my Makeup Geek eyeshadows. And even though Makeup Geek don't offer palettes, apart from the Money MEA one, you can buy their eyeshadows singly and then put them into Z palettes. But as these are kind of like palettes, these are the ones that I literally, these are like the most used eyeshadows. These are like all of the matte ones that I have. I do have some more, but these are the ones that I use on a more daily basis and also on all my clients. And then I have this palette here, which has a bunch of their kind of, these are like more of their like new matte eyeshadows that they release, and then some of their duochromes, and then their foil finishes, which are absolutely amazing. So another palette that I always seem to reach for if my clients want a more kind of dramatic makeup look but with colour, and again with myself, if I wanted like a really dramatic blue smoky eye or purple, I always go for this palette. And this is the Urban Decay Electric palette, and again, look how electrifying all these colours are. They're so pigmented, but if your person doesn't really like strong bold colours on your eyes, I totally would not recommend this palette. However, if you like really bold eyeshadows, I think this would be great. It's so good, the pigmentation is amazing, and all Urban Decay eyeshadows pretty much are one with me, apart from a few as I've mentioned, but this one especially is absolutely amazing. So guys, that's pretty much all of the palettes that I always seem to reach for, and again, I do have quite a lot of other palettes which I would use now and again, but these ones that I've shown you are like the ones that I use all the time and that I absolutely love. So let me know down below if you want me to do like a version of this kind of with regards to like lipsticks or other single eyeshadows, foundations, concealers, because I would love to kind of make this like a series and do like my favourite concealers, my favourite foundations, and yeah. So again, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!